Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Dev. Today we continue to work on our card/colony survival hybrid game called Hand of Life. Now last time we took on a pretty big challenge. We tried to create a system that would manage a large number of objects in our game without those objects always being active. It was a huge undertaking that required 2 full breaks and 3 separate attempts to get it right. And in the end, after a long-winded routine of trial and error, we managed to build ourselves the foundation of our system. And today we continue to work on that very system. We'll be fleshing out the code we worked on last time to better serve its actual purpose. We'll then try to manipulate that data through scripts, and finally we'll also try not only reading all that info, but also find a way to display that info. And if we've got time, we'll put more work into some other parts of the game. Sounds like a plan, so let's not waste any more time and get to the coding. First up, I had to expand our data grid to hold 1 extra entry. For the time being, I'm simply trying to get a tick system working that keep track of building progress, whatever that may be in the future. So for now, we're keeping track of the object IDs, current tick count, and the max tick count. And after confirming I didn't break anything here, I moved on to the tick code. I decided to go with a simple script that would count however many frames would count as a quote-unquote tick, and then add 1 to every entry in our building list, assuming that building hasn't reached its max tick count yet. With that done, I moved on to another script which would allow me to not only obtain tick data, but also display it. I had a bit of a brain fart here, but it was as simple as grabbing the proper entry from the list based off the object's ID. The script then returns whatever the data is, which then can be drawn as such in a simple hover event. Testing the code resulted in a 50% success. I was able to pull data from the data grid fine, but the tick wasn't working. A few minutes of searching later, I realized I'd once again brain farted and had the variables resetting themselves with each frame in the tick script. So I moved those variables out of the script, and now our code was working at 100% as it should. The tick counted up every few frames and only added ticks to the objects that weren't at their max tick amount, which by the way, the max tick amount were randomly generated for now. And to make it more visually appealing, I added a little progress bar, which generated based on the data collected via our script. Honestly, I came into this session expecting to spend the entire time working on this, so it was awesome and legitimately surprising to see that I still had time to actually work on something else. So I decided to return to our menu and start adding other functionality to it, and hopefully improving the thing in general. I started with adding hotspots for the mouse. Using some simple math, I had the mouse position determine which menu item was currently hovered over. This will help us later on when we add actual click events to the menu. For now, I just wanted to get the positioning right, and I made a lot of back and forth tweaks to get it there. But after some time tweaking it, I realized text only was gonna make for boring menus, so I decided to add more visual flair to the entries. I extended each entry to fit in a display icon for each entry, the entry's name, and possibly a description. And keep in mind, these visuals are all hypothetical for now. After a bunch of tweaking to get it looking just right, we had nicer menu entries. And now that we had more concrete measurements, I could punch those into the hotspot code from earlier and get better results. Something I noticed though was due to the dynamic nature of drawing our menu, positioning was always going to be a little off. However, sadly, believe it or not, by now I was out of time, and so we'll have to figure that one out next time. But for now, we've managed to not only improve and add new functionality to our systems, but we've also improved our menu. As always, though it may not seem like much was done today, we managed to make several important steps forward to furthering progress of our game. So remember that if you like this video or enjoy Let's Dev in general, be sure to hit that like button. If you aren't already subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button and be sure to turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. And as always, be sure to leave your thoughts on our progress in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.